Hello everybody, good to see you today to discuss about green beautification, sustainable solution for packaging decoration. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I am Claire Domergue, the director of publication of LUXE magazine, which is a media partner of LUXE. So you can also take the magazine, our last issue, in the press room during the show. And actually LUXE is a media and a magazine which is dedicated to the luxury news. And today I'm very happy to have some exceptional guests to discuss about green beautification. So I'm very happy to welcome Seba Alketrani. Please, Seba, tell me if I destroy your name. So you're the Director of Sustainability and Packaging at MAC Cosmetics. I'm also very happy to have with me Elie Papernik. You are Associate Director and co-founder of 100 Degrés, which is a design agency. April Little, sorry. You are brand innovation manager at Scodix, and you will explain us what is Scodix in a few minutes. Rita Gama Rocha, I'm very happy to have you also. You are commercial director and head of brand development at OM Design. Yes. So can you please start by introducing yourself and introducing OM Design also?
Yes, good morning. So thank you for the invitation. I'm very proud to be here. I'm part of the OM Design team. We are a design agency with 26 years of experience. We create and design mostly packaging. And as we produce also our creations, we believe that we have an important role in the industry. So we are between the brands and the industry. So every year we do a self-sustainable, self-promotion project focused on sustainability. And we try to challenge our clients and our suppliers to look forward. So sustainability and luxury are two different and opposite, most of it, but I want to show you that there are not so opposites. Two different things that we have been working for many years and that we are passionate about.
Thank you, Rita. Elie, you're also the founder of a design agency. Can you explain us what is 100 Degrés that you created a few years ago?
Yeah, thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I'm very also proud and happy to be at LUXE again this year. I'm the founder and also design director. I'm a product designer by education. 100 Degrés is a brand intelligence and design agency, meaning we give a lot of advice on the brand strategies. And also we design products, we design branding, brand identities, and retail. Maybe two specificities of the agency. One is we are this good mix between entrepreneurship. I consider myself as an entrepreneur and also a creative person, and same for our teams. So we always give advices like it would be for us as a brand developer. Secondly is our international knowledge, I would say, because now brands are going everywhere. Small brands can go distributing all over the world. We have decided years ago to establish an agency in Shanghai, 16 years ago, where we work for local industry. We have an office in Dubai where we work a lot for the whole Middle East region, whether it's Oman, Saudi now, which is very active, Dubai and all the region. In India as well, and of course we have an office in Paris. And of course, I mean, sustainability is at the heart of all our thinking, like it is for many people in this industry.
Right, so you will explain us your vision of sustainability in a few minutes. I would like to continue this introduction with April. So April, tell us more about Scodix and what you're doing for Scodix.
Yeah,
Scodix.
Absolutely. So Scodix is a company that creates, we build digital embellishment presses What that means is we have presses that digitally apply finishing. So your foils and your varnishes, glitter, cast and cure. So all the beautiful effects that go on luxury packaging on the outside of a box. Also for print and publication too, but I'm sure all of you are here because of luxury packaging. And what I do for Scodix and how that relates to brands and designers is I am a designer myself. I have been in the embellishment side of design for about 10 years, so sparkly is my love language. And I've been in print design for about 20 years, so the combo of those has created this unique opportunity for me to teach. So my job is to work with brands and designers to communicate what this disruptive technology can do for them, how it can revolutionize their packaging, how it can bring more sustainability and creativity to their projects.
Thank you. Well, actually, Seba, well, we need, of course, designing person and designers in green beautification issues, but you, Seba, you are doing something different for MAC Cosmetics. I think everybody knows MAC Cosmetics. Maybe you can tell us a few words about this company to remind us what you are doing, and also what precisely you are doing as a Director of Sustainability at MAC.
Absolutely. Bonjour, everyone. Thank you for having me. So happy to be here. So I'm Seba El-Katrani. I am the Director of Packaging Sustainability at MAC Cosmetics under the Estee Lauder conglomerate, and I'm also a professor for packaging sustainability and cosmetics and fragrance marketing at FIT in New York. So what does it mean when it comes to MAC and packaging sustainability? As far as designing and as far as incorporating intentional design and having a framework set up that we translate then into goals that we incorporate across our brands, not just MAC, it means that it's involved in our new product development process. We have to look at everything through the lens of intention and sustainability, and that framework kind of has dissolved into a few different goals that we've set forth. The obvious ones, reduction and reducing packaging, removing it where possible, designing for reuse and refillability where applicable, right? Because it's subjective depending on the product. Ensuring that we're incorporating post-consumer recycled content where we can, and having quality materials that we can source. And of course, really important is in-design recyclability or designing for recyclability. Now that one, there's a lot of caveats to it, just because it varies by region and it varies by infrastructure. And at MAC, we have a lot of black plastic packaging, so that poses its own challenges. So when we talk about recyclability, it's not just about recycling in the infrastructure in our regions, but it's about establishing closed loop systems, for example, our Back to MAC program, where we have consumers bring back their empty plastic containers and we reuse them and repurpose them in our packaging. That's just one kind of way that we've tried to incorporate some of these pillars into our framework. And then it translates a little bit differently when you talk about the different elements of design and the different phases of design.
So what are the main green beautification issues today at MAC in your day-to-day work? What are you focusing on?
I think everybody shares these issues. Price, money, budget, right?
Of course.
Okay, sustainability is not always the cheaper option, and that's why we have to look at it from an end-to-end cycle perspective. Where can we incorporate in every phase? So when it comes to cost-prohibitive measures, then we start incorporating different elements of design. Another one, a big one, is education for our consumer and how they interact with our products and our packaging. That part is very challenging because consumers are more aware than they have been in the last 5 to 10 years. They're very frustrated because they want to understand, is my packaging recyclable? If it is, do I need to separate it? Do I need to wash it? Is my region going to accept this type of material? And translating that into communication through packaging is one of the biggest challenges as well. What kind of claims can we make? What kind of regulations are preventing us from using certain materials? How can we anticipate some of these trends that we're seeing? Do consumers really want refills, right? So it just really comes down to understanding how your consumer is engaging with your packaging and just how willing they are to participate in, one, reduction and minimization, but also recyclability.
So we can definitely say that it's a real issue, green beautification is a real issue at MAC and for you today.
Major issue, major. You know, our black plastic has a bad rep. People don't understand the difference between good and bad plastics, the different kinds of materials, where they need to go, can they separate them? So that is a huge one for us. The other one is also incorporating new technologies and the infrastructure catching up with what the consumers need. So sometimes you have to have things to be recycling ready and anticipate that the infrastructure and the technology will catch up. But then we also have to have better partnerships with our vendors and our suppliers, smarter sourcing of materials. So there's a lot of caveats to this.
Thank you, Seba.
Sure.
Elie, maybe you can tell us also from your point of view, what are the main issues are you facing in your day-to-day work as a director, designer, and founder, and we said, but as a designer in your design agency, maybe you also want, yeah.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, I'd like to show two examples, but not now. Before that, I just want to explain, I mean, to respond to your question. The first thing is do not, I would say something like, do not reduce to reduce. What I mean by this is reducing the weight of material is something we hear a lot from our clients in the briefings. And this is not only not responding to the carbon footprint issue, but secondly, it's potentially it's destroying the incredible industry we are in, because it just destroys desirability. You know, the example everybody knows is the bottle of water, you know, mineral water. And now it's becoming so thin that you cannot even use it. And of course, in the luxury industry, the beauty industry, the perfume industry, reducing will lead us to nowhere. And also, you know, I know a lot of people working on the legal part of this issue. I think European laws are going to be tough. So we have to really think about what's really important. So what is very important is, I would say, in our day-to-day, is the first thing is meaning. I say very often to our clients, whether they're in France or everywhere in the world, do not launch a useless product. For me, that's the first thing. You know, when you launch a product, when you launch a line, ask yourself, is it bringing something new, something interesting to the consumer? Maybe to the market, but first to the consumer. So bring meaning. The second thing is probably try to put the money, because Seba, you talked about the money, because it's a major issue in our industry, of course, for the consumer and for the brands, for the companies, to make profit. So where do you put the money? Do you put the money where, it makes a difference to the consumer? It brings value, it brings pleasure, it brings desire, because that's what we're doing. We're not in medicine, we're not in something urgent, we are in creating pleasure for the people.
An experience.
I'm sorry?
An experience.
And great experiences. Yeah. So where do you put the money so that it's useful to the consumer? And the last thing is, as a design director to my teams and also to the clients, I'm trying to say, try to make sustainability as an inspiration, as an opportunity for design, instead of just a constraint. Again, I mean, we have briefs, sometimes from packaging development or sustainability teams saying reduce the weight of glass, reduce the weight of plastic. But this, as I said, it's not the goal. So really consider all this as an opportunity. Maybe I can give two examples.
Yes, please.
One example is something we did for Cartier. This is more retail design, but we will see it has an impact on packaging, of course. We participate in retail design for Cartier a few years ago, and we suggested to install in all the corners, the booth in the department stores, sources of the biggest sellers of Cartier, not only to permit to the clients to come and refill their bottles, because refillability is still, I mean, it's still a challenge. Maybe we'll talk about this later, but it's a way to design long-term product, not product that you throw away. So I think everything that you can do to promote in the point of sales and in the web, refillability I think is good. And also it's a question not only on the reality of the experience in the day-to-day, but also a communication. If Cartier, as a big brand, a big luxury brand, says, we believe into refillability, it's a very important message to the consumer. Second example is a product we did for Mercedes-Benz company, but also INCC, GBB, the license company in fragrance. And it was within a big program of designing a new product, but the product I wanted to talk about is a product we did, which was like 3 different fragrances, 30 ml. Each of the bottles are refillable, but the idea that we had was, in a way, idealistic at the beginning. We said, we want a leather bag for this thing. It's fun because actually it's 3 bottles. When you put them together, as you see on the left of the screen, it rebuilds the Mercedes-Benz logo. But anyway, so we said to INCC, why don't we use scraps from the seats of Mercedes-Benz leather? And they say, yeah, it's a great idea, but it may be difficult. Imagine the logistics. And so we had a meeting together with them, with the Mercedes-Benz design and sustainability team, and they said, yeah, great idea. And so we bought a few tons of these scraps, narrow pieces of leather from the seats of the Class S Mercedes-Benz, because all of the other ones are not made in leather. So it's leather. And so we bought these tons of material, created this bag, which I think is nice. And the good thing, it's an opportunity for design, but also for the consumer, it's an opportunity because the consumer, for a reasonable price, they have an object that is really great, and not, in a way, they are not paying for the leather because the leather, we bought it for a very low amount of money. So I think these 2 examples explain quite well the kind of thinking that we have in this subject of sustainability.
Thank you, Elie. You're perfectly right, because I saw this packaging that you made for Mercedes. It's really, really amazing, really good looking, high-end, and very intelligent, because as you said, you can also propose it for a reasonable price. For what is it? It is very amazing, and so good job for this.
Thank you. And you see the colors are just coming from, the standard colors of leather in the Class S. So we just say, okay, when you buy these products, you can get any of these colors, whether by coincidence or you choose them. So it's cool for the consumer as well, which I think is the only way to succeed in sustainability.
Thank you very much. Rita, maybe we can talk about your vision also, because you're leading this agency, OM agency, the design agency, and sustainability is at the core, is your core business, actually, right?
Yes, I'm passing here, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, right. Here we are.
So
Sustainability, we said, is very at your core business.
Yes, for sure.
And you told me, we were discussing a few minutes before, you told me real luxury is sustainability.
Yes.
So please tell me, what are the main issue that you are facing in your day-to-day work?
Yes, sustainability has been with us for so many years, and we try to make sense to our clients, to our suppliers of the importance. And we develop like self-promotion projects that want to show what we can do. And I'm bringing here 2 projects that show you how we can use the raw material as the solution and not the problem. And here it is a packaging that we created. It was a little bit disruptive because we use a jar for cosmetics and we put whiskey on it. So we don't need to all do the same. We can do different things. So I can show you, it's rather small, But here's a whiskey. And on the bottom, we have wheat seeds. And we have also a drop stopper. And it says, don't stop the drop. So it's very important to save water. So we try in this kind of packaging to have a message in every step of the opening of the package. All the finishes, we also use cork. So I'm from Portugal, and Portugal is the biggest cork producer in the world, so we are absolutely passionate about it. It's a wonderful material, and I don't know if you know, it comes from the round part of a tree, and you can only get it every 9 years. So it's a tree that retains CO2, and it's a beautiful material that you can use. And in this case, we have the seeds on the bottom of the package. So we use this little hole that we have in the package to put the seeds. And we have a little bit of substract that when we water, it grows like this. So, oh, thank you.
This is the
it
next
grows
step.
like this, and thank you, Seba. And when it grows
So
bigger,
sweet.
we can put it in the ground, and it grows like these plants, and we use it, and then we drink the whiskey with our friends, of course. So it's good. Yes. So it's
We
good
are all friends today.
So it's good for 2 servings. So it's very important, the sharing process. And afterwards, after we have drinking the whiskey, we can use this as a jar. So it's a package that has a full life. And another package that I brought, and this is a paper. This is a sustainable paper made out of cannabis. It is a Gmund paper, but we have been working closely with paper suppliers. We want to challenge them to do different materials, to work on their labs, to make the raw material as the primary material. So it's something that we have a good connection with ESCA that is here with us, with Avery Denison, with Gmund, and we like to challenge them. So the final consumer is asking for it. We not only are involved in the design to our clients, but with our suppliers in order to make difference. And I brought another project, and it's here. You can see it. It is a bee hotel. So it is made out of the waste of the wooden boxes for wine. And we have put these small holes, and they are perfect for the bees and for a very special species of bees that is solitary bees. And they don't produce honey. And as they don't produce honey, men aren't interested about it. They just do pollination, and they are homeless, the poor ones. So we have built this bee hotel so people can use in the cities, in the countryside, so we can have a home for these bees. But not only that, we have a honey jar in it, and we also made a pencil. And this pencil is a honey spoon. So when you start to open the honey, you have the spoon and you serve it. And when you finish the honey, you have a pencil. So all the package tells a story of sustainability. For us, this is quite important. I have other projects, but I'll tell the world.
I can see that your projects are useful, visionary, of course sustainable, and very precious. You're making precious things. This is a big challenge, and you will tell us more, because you have a lot to say again. We will continue before with April. April, actually, you are a designer working for, well, actually you are in charge of innovation for Scodex.
Brand innovation, yes.
Brand innovation.
I'm in charge of building partnerships in education for brands and designers. Also colleges and students, and our technology is disruptive in the industry. I mean, most designers and brands are used to hot stamping and cold foiling, so having a digital option is completely new to them. And really, that's one of my biggest challenges, is just the education part. You know, reaching out to brands and reaching out to colleges and forming these partnerships to let them understand there's another more sustainable way to get beautiful decorated packaging. So that's you know, my job is to spread awareness and also be free labor for these places, because I do prototyping and design too. So a brand can reach out to me and be like, I would love to see what this looks like with Scodex on it. And I'm like, I got you. And we do, you know, embellish sheets so they can visualize. Because one of the beauties of digital is that it can be a sheet of one. So you can have this perfect shelf-ready embellished sheet for your prototyping in like a minute, a literal minute. You know, there's no dyes, there's no harmful chemicals, there's no heat. This is a cold process. So you have a sustainable sheet like immediately. So theoretically, a designer or a brand can actually go to one of our customers who are, you know, the printers, converters, spend a couple hours there and go through entire visualizations without the need of waiting for, you know, dyes or prototyping or mock-ups or make-readies, and just be able to have fun. I think that's the important part of digital, is bringing some of the fun back into design again, and packaging, because you're not limited. You don't have someone from accounting with like a whip saying, oh, this is too expensive. You can't create this low quantity box with this kind of embellishments. It doesn't make any economic sense, but now you can. Like unboxing experiences with someone's name on them, or seasonal or duty-free. All of these are open for beautiful creative embellishments, because we play in that space perfectly and in a more sustainable way, which I'll get into like those, you know, technical details later.
So you're giving this final touch to the packaging that gives something very valuable, something very different to the packaging.
Yes, it makes it look expensive. I've got some stuff that you can even probably see from the back of the audience just because of how vibrant it is. But like this box, for example, with these crazy high embellished pieces on it with all this foil, not only is it recyclable and de-inkable, but it was all embellished digitally. So different foil colors and different varnishes and crazy height that feels like a deep emboss. It's all digital.
So your technology is really advanced, we can say.
Yes. We're the leaders in the industry for this type of technology. So it started in commercial greeting cards. I mean, if you look at Vistaprint and Shutterfly, those types of companies have been doing it forever, like with greeting cards and like web to print. But our challenge was, how do we get to brands? How do we get to packaging? So we have a really amazing R&D department who created this AI-driven technology, and they put it on the press. So the press intelligently reads the artwork coming in and knows how to apply the polymer, which is the adhesive. So we can get text down to like 5-point and like crazy fine illustrative lines that would only be possible with an engraved die before. We hit the mark for quality for brands and packaging. And we created a press that went up to like a B1 size sheet. We're like, all right, now we can actually have a really good conversation with brands. And then the next step with us was, okay, now we need to have sustainability messaging for brands, because obviously that's important to everybody here, and that's why we're here. So we did that too. We're like, where do we sit with this? Are we recyclable? We didn't even know. So we had to do an LCA. We had to do the recyclability testing with Western Michigan University, because all of these things are important messaging when working with brands. And we hit the marks on all of that. So we're like, all right, we have a product that's recyclable and de-inkable and it is 80% more efficient in terms of, carbon emission and oxygen. And, so now we have a message. We have a product and we have a message, and we're ready to revolutionize the packaging industry. And that's what our mission has kind of been, but we're just starting out with this awareness campaign because it's disruptive, and it's really on us, not our customers, which are the printers. It's on us to do the educating part.
So thank you, April. I'm wondering, Seba, for example, you certainly work with this kind of beautification, for example, some printing and embellishment like this. What are the main challenges that you are facing actually to choose beautification in your packaging, green beautification more precisely?
Absolutely. When it comes to packaging, desirability is a big factor that we take into play. Unfortunately, sustainability and desirability have not been coincided together. So we really have to change the framework in terms of how we decorate our packaging and how we understand the infrastructure of recyclability. So when I'm working with vendors and design agencies, I'm asking for certification. Is it recyclable? Is it maybe recyclable? And in what regions? And then it comes down to removing hot stamps and cold foils, and what do our retailers really want from us, and what are they demanding? And then the same thing, what are our regulations saying as well? What laws do we have to abide by? So as far as making it look high-end and luxe, it's the finishes, it's the colors that we use, it's the opacity of our glass, and it's the color of the plastic that we incorporate. Makeup is hard. Makeup is a very difficult to recycle. Makeup is difficult to make sustainable and desirable at the same time. And so it's about effective communication and using that to drive a movement for engagement. So how your consumers are engaging with your products to drive social change. So as far as deco, we have to reevaluate how we look at the different colors that we're putting, the embellishments that we're putting, and not reducing to the point of jeopardizing the package. Other people will say we need to standardize all packaging. Okay, it might be a little too extreme, but in that regard, it's about brand equity as well. And with MAC, we're a brand that's founded on social responsibility and conscious beauty, so the packaging needs to resemble that as well. So that's the challenge, is driving that message through the decoration, through the packaging, and making sure the consumer understands that and is engaging with it properly.
Of course. From your point of view, Rita, the raw material, I think, is a big challenge. Reusing the raw material must be a big challenge. Can you tell us more about this?
It's something that we have been doing and fighting for. I'm having this example, a big picture of our dream home, because we always give the name to our projects a little bit of OM design. So this jar is the dream home. This one is the H2OM. This one is o mel, because it's in Portuguese, is the honey. And we try to really tell a story with the packaging, reusing it, and all of this is important, the cork, the perfume jar, to use it all. And in this project, the beginning of the story was a little bit about the seeds, the wheat seeds. As we are in this changing world, the bread is very important for mankind. But so it's something that sustains mankind, because sustainability is not only about recyclability. It's also about social sustainability, financial sustainability, and it's a much broader word. And we used it to the bread, but we also use it to distilled and to make whiskey. So we have the feeding part and the fun part. So we joined everything together in this package. And also very important, we have the concept of replant. So we want to give back to the nature what we have been taking out with all of this packaging. So we have in this project the replanting of the wheat seed, and in this project we have the cork oak seed. Even the design of the package was inspired in the cork oak, and we have that little seed. And it has a huge meaning because cork trees, they produce cork, but the first time that you will have the cork is from 25 years later after you have planted it. So you need to think about the future, and that's what we are all doing here now, is thinking about the future. And sometimes you say that a man that plants a oak tree will only his grandchildren will be able to sit on the shadow. So it's a concept that it's very important.
Of transmission also.
Yes. Yes,
and
the
circularity, right?
The dematerialization that Seba was talking about, and the reuse is something that we have been working on, either in using different papers and the refill in this project that I have here, and that you can see the time. The clock is ticking. So that's the message that we want to give. And in this package we have a brandy. So when we drink the brandy, I don't know, is anything,
You want to make us alcoholic today?
we have so many clients in the beverages industry, so somehow, but we have a honey too. So when we finish the brandy, we can use this bottle to put water, and we called it H2OM. So OM design is also present in this packaging. And I invite you all to come to our stand. It's the 4th time that we are here in LUXE, and we have been really looking at the trends. 4 years ago, no one knew what was cork, and now we know that clients are much more aware of the new materials. They are searching for new materials, and it's our job, all of us in the industry, to provide this information to them. So it's something that we have been doing, and I was discussing with Claire what our vision, and we talk about the luxury of sustainability, as we are in a fair of luxury. So our goal is, when we are in the luxury industry, sustainable doesn't have to be ugly. We have wonderful materials that we can embellish using design. And when we create high-end luxury projects, no one will ever want to throw them away. So they are the essence of these luxury projects that I'm showing, is sustainable. So it seemed like luxury was a monster to sustainability, but it's not. We can either work on the materials and make the refill, the reuse, the footstep. That's something that we need to work, but also in the high-end luxury, if we create something so amazing, it will definitely be sustainable, but because people will want to have it forever.
Sure, of course. And what is interesting also is that you are sharing a vision that makes us conscious about the preciousness of material, of time, etc. So I think you're also working on the education of the consumer, but also of the brand.
Yes, so because when the brand has that story, and it involves, it's also the pleasure of the clients when the final consumer feels that it's doing something, the meaning. I believe that in a few years we will have all the packaging with the carbon footprinted number. So that will be a way of evaluating the products. With artificial intelligence, we will quickly have that number to make it like math. But we need to give continue to give that pleasure, that experience to the final consumer. And they surely need to feel themselves that they are not ruining our world. That is something that also gives pleasure, not only the ritualization of a project, but also knowing, as you know, that the retailers, they want to know everything, where comes the material, what are the steps, and the final consumer is asking for it. So we need, as an industry and as a designer, as brands, as finishers, to give that to the final consumer.
Of course, this is really important. I'm sorry, we just have a few minutes left, so I have to be a bit faster. I would like to ask both Ellie and April also the main challenges they are facing. So Ellie, you explained us a few projects that were very interesting. Financial challenges also is one of them, but because this is an issue for Seba, for example, the price is really important. The sustainability, of course, and the price associated to the project, because the market is very...
And the price of these really cool new materials. We'd love to use them.
Of course.
But manufacturing is costly. Is it effective? Is it efficient? I would love to use food waste packaging for everything, ideally, but
Sure.
is that realistic?
Sure.
I think we said this before. I have to be very quick. I would say the two challenges is, as you said, education is the only way. I think education is the future of humanity, right? With education, you can move, and sustainability is a question of move, being able to move. So first, education to avoid superficiality, superficial thinking, because if you just look at, for example, reduce, as I said before, you lose a lot of them. So look at the life cycle, look at the business model on a larger scale, as you said. First example is refillable bottles. Of course, it's more expensive, or using some materials are more expensive, but look at the life cycle of a product. If people are faithful to a product, they will use refillability in a different way. And so if you trace the business model of that on the long run, it gives you a lot of good options. And I think the second thing is the ability of the organizations to move, to go to the next level. But the good news, if I can conclude on that, on my side, is that, as you said, the young generation, my children, are so keen on that. They look at everything, they check everything, and they will be very, very demanding to the brands, to the designers, to the whole industry. This generation is going to help us to move to the next level.
Thank you, Ellie. April, from your point of view, because you seem to make this embellishment so easily with your high-end technology and innovative process, but you certainly have also your own challenges.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it is easy to design for, and I love doing it, which is why I work here. But, I mean, as a company, one of the challenges that we will always face, especially now that we're working, more closely with brands and designers, is being able to forecast what their needs are. There's all these regulations that are constantly changing, especially in Europe and other regions, and we have to be reactionary, with even our equipment. What do we need to do to be able to meet the needs of brands in the future in terms of sustainability? What products do we need to make? What changes do we need to make to our press? What other offerings do we need to do? And fortunately, our R&D department is amazing. Like, they're some of the most brilliant minds I've ever had the pleasure of working with, really. It's awe-inspiring. And so we're constantly in a state of doing new product life cycles to be able to be adaptive to those challenges. And then you have to think about what's next. How does smart packaging play into digital and to sustainability? How is anti-counterfeiting going to play into digital and brands? And these are all challenges that we're already looking into. I've got an anti-counterfeiting project that I'm working on now where some solutions can be applied digitally, which would be not only more sustainable for brands, but just easier and more availability for them to protect themselves. So just being reactionary and listening to brands and just planning ahead for what they might need is probably our biggest challenge.
Of course, really important that everybody could find the right way to work together in the sustainability process. So, thank you. We are going to take some questions from the room, if there are some questions, please. Okay, so we are going to give you the microphone. There is a question behind. Please, excuse me. You have a question in the back. Thank you.
So first of all, thank you for a very interesting discussion here. I think the way the people were, so industry, right-hand side, design, and a brand, so the setup was ideally. So I work for the company Course. Embellishment is our main goal. My question is actually, how can we educate the end customer through design the goals of sustainability for the luxury industry? So we all know that we can apply labels, recycling labels, and so on packaging, but nobody likes it, me in the first place. And how can we integrate this communication of, yes, luxury and sustainability can go hand in hand? And I would like to know if from the brand side and also from the design side, how you will try to integrate that in the future packagings.
Absolutely. From a brand perspective, it's all about engagement and product interaction. How are the consumers using our products, and how does that define new usage occasions? The same product can be formatted in multiple packaging variations for those different on-the-go usage, at-home usage, glass packaging meets plastic. When it comes to communicating that, it's about intuitive design, how your product unfolds, how your packaging unfolds, primary and secondary. And then when it comes to how much space you have on your packaging, there's only so much labels you can put, there's only so much copy you can put. I know everyone's sick of seeing QR codes post-COVID, but as far as directing to the consumer, to your site, to your landing page, to your social media and engaging, we have a lot of education videos for MAC because we are an artistry brand. So it's about new gestures with the packaging and how do you interact with it throughout its life cycle, so end-to-end interaction. So it's smart packaging, incorporating that, but also intuitive design that makes sense for the consumer. When it comes to refills, designing with intention. Consumers don't want to assemble and disassemble. They don't want to be the engineers behind it. So having that design be more intuitive, self-explanatory, and then further engagement, further education through your different platforms and how your consumer is engaging. So it really depends on the end user and how they're using the product towards end of life.
So the education comes from the brand. They have a rule.
We have an education team. We have an education team at MAC, and it's all about product interaction. What gestures are we using? How are we opening the packaging? How are we storing it? And then how are we disposing of it? At Estée Lauder, we have on our website and on our social media, remove the cap, rinse out the bottle, things like that. After a while, it becomes second nature, but in this time, it's very critical for clear communication and also clear claims. We're very limited in what we can say today, and making sure you have robust statements is going to be the major difference when it comes to how your consumer is educated.
Are there any other questions?
Maybe I can answer also another
Eli,
another
you want
way.
to add something?
I would say, of course, it's the responsibility of the brand, for sure. But if you bring in cool solutions, I'm talking like my kids, if you bring in cool solutions, it's going to be your consumers, the young consumers, who will talk about your cool solution on TikTok. And this has an incredible impact. Because if you're not bringing solutions that are reducing or being in a way boring or something which makes people guilty with this guilt feeling, and you bring in cool solutions, and then it's self-explanatory. in a way. And so the consumers will take it over and communicate on their own social media, which is very efficient, I think, along the road.
So shame the consumer or don't shame the consumer? Guilt them
Don't
into
shame. Bring cool solutions.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. If we don't have any more questions, I would like to thank you for attending this conference. I would like to thank our speakers for this amazing discussion and experience sharing. Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. Enjoy your day.